Hi, so I've been asked to talk about the public product aspect of project-based instruction. And the answer to the first question is no. The high school will not be having a night where everybody presents their PBL work. The answer to the second question is how public a product do I need to have? I want to answer that by talking just a little bit about the three functions of public product in PBL. The first one, of course, is that kids will have more buy-in and do better work if they know that they have to present their work publicly. The second one is it's great PR for the wonderful things that our public schools do for kids. The third one is how I think you might be able to figure out how public is public. Is one of the functions that public product does is to increase the discussability or kind of discussions that kids have around the work that they're doing. And so I think that if you think about discussability, that you will have the best perspective on how public does my product really need to be. So I was thinking about this issue of discussability, and the first thing I thought of was my cat Jack, because Jack is actually pretty conversational. He has a meower on the back of his body, where if you pat it, he's not discussing. But usually if you pat it, then he'll go, meow. All right, Jack, you're not discussing. That's done with you. All right, so the second thing I thought of was, places where you can discuss or conversations that your kids could have was I really like playing pool. And I know at the pool hall, it's a great place to discuss kind of the important matters of life and things you might be doing in your classroom. But in case you were wondering, pool hall, not a good place to take your high school students. Okay, so third thing I thought about, public product, discussability. What about if you have a skywriter? Certainly if you have a plane flying around Clayton, dragging behind it, my students are creating speakers, everybody's going to be talking about it. But probably not the kind of conversation that you want to have. They'll be saying, what's that plane doing? What does it say? Not really what you want your students, or not what you want your students to be thinking of when they're talking about discussability. All right, so here are some ideas. When I was looking through information on the Buck Institute website, ways you can kind of increase the public nature of what you're doing, but without doing a big musical song and dance type of thing. So all of them involve getting experts into the situation in some way. And one of the things that I liked the most when I read some articles, was this idea that public product doesn't necessarily have to occur only at the end. And one of the most effective things that you can do is involve an expert early on in your project, and that can actually be the public product aspect of it. For example, if you could have an expert or talk to an expert when you are brainstorming or when kids are brainstorming, just the initial conception of their product, and experts can tell you, this is what's going on in the field, and here are some questions that need to be answered, or open questions, or here are some techniques. And your kids can actually have the public aspect of it at the very beginning of the product, or even a project, or even kind of all the way through. That if you're midway through the project, have an expert come in and give feedback, or talk about what are the next steps. Where do you find these experts? Universities are a great place to find them, and you can just have your kids search, who's the best in the field in this area. And usually university professors are incredibly willing to talk to the students of high school teachers. Another place you can find them is national organizations like National Geographic, or think of your professional organizations will have outreach aspects to them, and students could access experts that way. And then you can also think of people in the commercial or regular industry that might also be willing to talk to students. I know that I've been able to have quite a few experts come into my classroom to talk just because they like school even though they are no longer in school. So the general idea when you are doing a public product is that it doesn't have to be this huge, full-blown thing, but you do want to have students engaged in talking with people who have different perspectives, which could be really knowledgeable parents, but it's probably something that you want to go beyond the school, either in the form of people coming in, or perhaps your students going out somewhere or posting something on the web. So you probably want more than just a poster outside your classroom, because again, that is not going to really increase the discussability in terms of having students look at their project from different perspectives. But it doesn't have to be, anything super extravagant. So I think if you think about the criteria of discussability, that's probably the best avenue to think about how public does this project really need to be. And so hopefully that answers some of your questions, and good luck with your PBL.